New colors! As an artist, there's no better feeling than buying a brand new tube of paint with an exciting color that you want to use. Guaranteed, no better feeling. Well, maybe one, but this is a family channel and here we're talking about paint. There's an exciting tip that I want to give every new painter out there, or even, some veteran painters out there, of what you should do right off the bat when you buy a brand new tube of paint before you start painting with it. This is going to be a great tip to make your paints more effective for your paintings coming up. Let's go. What is up, all you awesome creative people out there? Wild here to make sure your creative adventures are going bigger and better. If this is your first time here and you need how-to tips and tricks and general inspiration, make sure you hit that big red subscribe button down below. Hey, and tick that bell so you know when my videos go live for you. Hey, come in here real close. I need to tell you a secret. I have a vice. In fact, I actually have a few, but one of them is I cannot control myself around buying paints. I love buying new colors and different mediums to try them out to see if they'll work for my paintings. In fact, that's kind of the fun thing about being an artist, am I right? Whenever you buy a brand new tube of paint, there are two common mistakes that brand new artists make, and even some veterans out there. And allow me to share those tips with you that are gonna make your paints that you just bought so much better going forward for your paintings. Tip number one is when you buy a brand new tube of paint, regardless if it's oil or acrylic or anything in between, you should give it a real good rub down. All right, let's get down to business. Oh my gosh, there's so much tension in your tube. Don't worry, I'm gonna get you nice and loose. All right, that might have been a little excessive, but every painter out there that buys a brand new tube of paint should really need the tube. And the reason you want to do that is because depending on where you bought your paint, regardless if it's online or in a store, it was mostly stored there for a few days, few weeks, few months, or maybe even a few years. And when paint sits around for a long time, it will actually separate itself out from the pigment and the binder. Kneading and massaging the tube of paint or even bottle is really important because it'll get all the pigment and binder moving around to get the correct viscosity that the paint is supposed to be used at for when you start applying it to canvas or whatever painting material you're using. If you don't knead your tube, you're gonna have explosive results. And I mean more explosive than a teenage boy on prom night. All right, let's just put some paint down on our mixing palette here. No, that was way too fast. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. We'll just clean that up with a napkin. You see, when you don't knead the tube or mix everything up, you're going to get nothing but binder material that comes out first because it's lighter than the pigment. So you're just gonna get all that oil and goo, and it's gonna make your paints be not firm or not the correct viscosity. So make sure you take time to massage and knead the tubes or mix up the bottle so that way all the pigment and binder is mixed correctly. This is also a great tip if you haven't painted in a long time, because if you store your paints around, they're gonna separate again, so make sure you mix and massage and knead them up. Tip number two is all about when you buy your brand new tube of paint that you're really excited to use. If it's brand new to you and you've never used this color or brand before, I highly recommend that you do a test with it. Take a spare piece of canvas or even cardboard that you covered with gesso and put a couple globs out and paint with it thin, medium, and thick. Do this with all of your brand new colors and paints. And the reason that is super important is one, you're gonna see how the paint works and how it flows. And number two is you're actually gonna see what the true color is when it dries. You cannot always trust the color when it's wet, and you can never trust the color that's printed on the actual tube or bottle. You're gonna get some variances and some differences in it that could really affect your painting. I literally do this for all my paintings. Whenever I have a brand new one, I just take an old canvas that I was playing around with and I'll just put out some colors just to see how they work or how they blend, or if I have to try a new medium, hey, I wanna make sure I do a test result. Likewise, if I'm gonna see how it looks with different brush strokes or different thicknesses, again, I just take a spare piece of canvas that I was testing and playing around on, and I'll do different examples on here to see how the brush strokes will dry. Hey, maybe they're gonna self-level, or maybe it's gonna leave a lot of texture. Those are things that are important, and you should test those out before you really dive into playing with that color on a real canvas art piece. Oh man, when it comes to buying paint, it can get out of hand real quick. So when it comes to buying different types of paint, colors, styles, mediums that you want to play around with, you know, take your time. You can always build up. I don't want you going broke on your new creative adventure, and always look out for those coupons. Now, if any of you out there plan on buying any new paints online, you can always do me a favor and use the links down below. Click through that and make any purchase on Amazon. That helps support my channel, and hey, it costs you nothing. So if you do use those, hey, thank you for being awesome. Since you're being awesome, allow me to be even more awesome. I'm gonna put a couple great videos over here that are gonna show you some great tips and tricks to help you along your creative adventures. Really recommend checking those videos out at the end of this one. Until next time, all you beautiful and creative people, take care, and of course, peace.